Hey, and welcome to Venice Properties. We're so excited to have you. We put together this quick guide, think of it as a roadmap, to help make your time with us super simple, smooth, and honestly, stress-free. So let's just dive right in. So, what's our mission? It's really simple. We're here to make sure your renting experience is a great one. Smooth, comfortable, and without all the usual stress. Just think of us as your go-to team, here to help you out from the moment you get your keys. All right, so we've broken this down into 5 main sections that cover pretty much your entire journey with us. We're going to kick things off with your digital portal. Then we'll walk through move-in, get into the nitty-gritty of your lease, chat about taking care of your new home, and wrap up with how to make your move-out a breeze. Okay, Section 1, your digital resident portal. Seriously, this is your one-stop shop for pretty much everything. If there's one tool you're going to use a lot, it's this. Think of it as your command center for your apartment. So, what can you do in the portal? Well, pretty much everything. It's where you'll make and track payments. Got a maintenance issue? You can request and track it right there. And you can even pull up your lease and other important documents whenever you need them. It's all in one place. Let's zoom in on the Payments tab. Okay, pro tip right here, set up autopay. Seriously, it's the best way to make sure your rent is always on time and you never have to think about late fees. Of course, you can also pop in to make a one-time payment or check out your full account history. It's all super transparent. Now, the maintenance section. If something needs fixing, this is your go-to spot. You can submit a new request super easily, and this is the cool part, you can track its status, so you'll always know where things stand from start to finish. And say goodbye to digging through old boxes or files. All your important stuff, like your lease and your renter's insurance policy, are stored right here in the portal. You can access them anytime, 24/7. Super convenient. All right, let's move on to Section 2, making your move-in easy. We want your first day in your new home to be exciting, not chaotic, and a little bit of planning makes all the difference. So here's a simple game plan for move-in day. First, have your group pick one person to be the main point of contact, the group leader. They'll handle all the communication with our office. Second, let us know how many parking passes you'll need. And third, this one's really important, once everyone's had a day or two to settle in, have your group leader send us one single list of any little maintenance things you notice. Bundling them together helps us tackle everything way more efficiently. Okay, Section 3, understanding your lease. Let's talk about a few things that can sometimes get a little confusing, especially with roommates. We'll cover adding a new roommate, what a lease assignment is, and how your security deposit works. So let's break down the difference between just adding a roommate versus a full lease assignment. Adding a new roommate is pretty straightforward. You send us their info, they apply, and if they're approved, we just add them to the lease. Easy. A lease assignment, though, that's different. That's for when a resident is moving out for good. In that situation, it's actually up to the person leaving to find a replacement. Then that new person applies and we go from there. Just so you know, for a lease assignment, there is a $300 fee, and that's paid by the resident who's moving out. It just covers all the admin work involved, like processing the application and drawing up the new legal paperwork. Now, this next point is really, really important, especially if you have roommates. The security deposit stays with the home. It doesn't get split up by person. So if one roommate moves out, we don't refund their share of the deposit. It's up to you guys, the person leaving and the person staying, to work out that money exchange between yourselves. All right, on to Section 4, caring for your home. Think of this as a partnership. We do our part, and with a few simple habits on your end, we can keep your apartment in fantastic shape and avoid a lot of common maintenance calls. First up, the garbage disposal. Let's keep it happy, okay? The biggest no-nos are things like grease and coffee grounds. They're a huge problem. Also, avoid stringy stuff like celery and definitely no bones. And here's the trick. Always, always run cold water when you use it. That makes a world of difference. Okay, what happens if the power goes out in just one room? Don't panic. 9 times out of 10, it's just a tripped breaker. All you have to do is find your breaker box, look for the one switch that's not lined up with the rest, flip it all the way to the off position, and then flip it back to on.
That should solve it.
Here are a few more super simple tips to prevent problems. When you shower, always use the exhaust fan. That's key for preventing mold. And speaking of which, giving the shower tiles a quick wipe down helps too. Oh, and clean your dryer's lint trap after every single load. That's a huge safety thing. Also, scrape food off your plates before they go in the dishwasher. And in the fridge, just make sure you're not blocking the air vents. So here's a classic question we get all the time. What do I do with my old couch or, any big trash item like furniture? The answer is super important. Please, please never just leave big items like furniture next to the dumpsters. That's a lease violation and you could get a fine. Instead, just call this number. It's the city's bulk pickup service, and you can schedule a time for them to come get it. And that brings us to our last section, number 5, your smooth move out. We want your move out to be just as easy as your move in. And really, the whole point here is to make sure you get your full security deposit back. So here's your move out checklist. The big things are: clean the apartment so it looks like it did when you moved in, make sure there's no damage, and turn in all of your keys and fobs. Also, don't forget to submit your security deposit return form and arrange your final utilities shutoff and mail forwarding.
So that's a wrap on our guide. We really are so happy to have you as a resident, and our goal, our hope, is that your living experience with us is fantastic, that it surpasses all your expectations. Thank you for your time, and from all of us, welcome home.